slide it over.
Yeah, it's here somewhere. I used it up
Yeah,
on-
just-
Yeah, I was looking for a scroll bar
There,
and there
there's
was
not.
nothing there, so.
Just do that.
I think you just put it on the item and then, there you go.
Under, I just went blank
Yeah,
here
put
too.
the arrow
Not sure
there
where
and
to-
then zoom in.
Oh, there is a little, yeah.
There is? Oh, there.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Oh,
so
oh,
you gotta
gotcha.
scroll
Oh,
over
okay.
Now
here.
they blow it up.
Yeah, no, it's,
And it's counterintuitive because you're going this way.
Yeah.
It's like,
Thank you.
what?
actually,
Right.
I'm pretty well old school, so that's, yeah.
my wife tries to get me used to a Mac. I can't do that.
Well, that's a
Then-
Mac.
then
I
this
use
is-
I
this
use
is
a
a-
PC all day.
I do too, yeah.
But not a laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
There you go.
I'd like to call to order the Landmarks Commission meeting for August 24th, 2026. The time is 7 PM.
Roll call, David Craycraft,
Here.
Carol DeGrosso,
Here?
Rich Dobda, Pete Lynch,
Here.
Roger White here, Whit Wardell.
Here.
Patrick Lynch. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we excuse Rich Dobda and Pat Lynch from tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
Roll call, David Craycraft.
Yes.
Carol DeGrosso.
Yes.
Pete Lynch,
Yes.
Roger White, yes, Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Can I get a motion for approval of the July 27th, 2026 Commission meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. Roll call, Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Carol DeGrosso.
Yes.
Roger White, yes. Pete Lynch,
Abstain?
David Craycraft.
Yes.
Who seconded that?
I did,
Thank you.
Roger.
The first item on tonight's agenda, CA 26023. This application has been on the docket for a couple meetings, was tabled last month. The applicant is requesting approval to modify the existing duplex to turn it into a single-family dwelling, which includes a proposed 542 square foot addition to the south and a 145 square foot addition to the east. Going to go through really some photos, some progress photos of the project, and then really just talk about the changes that have taken place since the last meeting. So here's some photos showing the property in July of last year. Some photos from earlier this year showing the condition of basically all four sides of the house. And then looking at some photos from today, the applicant has received approval so far to remove the existing siding, rough-in window openings, and then tear off the skirting around the foundation. Taking a look at the photos here, you can see the front of the house. Took some photos of that existing foundation wall that the applicant is requesting to maintain with the project. This is the corner closest to the front door. Kind of looking from that corner centrally down that foundation wall, and then looking at the Liberty Street corner where the applicant was talking about the repair that had taken place previously. Looking at the house from Liberty Street here, you can see this existing kind of laundry room addition is what the applicant is proposing to remove for the new rear addition on the house. Again, just another context photo here showing that addition that is proposed to be removed for the new two-story, two-car garage addition off the back. Kind of walking around this side here, again, there is a second story kind of door. Looks like there used to be maybe like a fire escape or something within this area that has been removed some time ago. Going around to the east side of the house here, again, you can see some of the existing context. All these photos do show the original wood siding that has been exposed after the aluminum siding has been removed. And just another photo here of this corner, kind of on Columbus Street, looking back on the east side of the house. Again, the applicant seeking approval to remove the existing addition here on the back of the house to install this new addition in red. And then this is the area where there is the side covered porch. The applicant's looking to make that livable space and bump it out from the house a little bit, approximately where this like patio area is. Again, floor plan for the proposal hasn't changed since last review. When looking at the front elevation, this is primarily the same from what you saw last time. When looking at the call-outs for materials, I kind of cover this in a different slide, but those have all been updated per last month's discussion. Looking at the Liberty Street elevation here, the primary changes are the siding for the addition, and you can see this on the other two elevations, have been modified to be a 6-inch LP Smart Side lap siding. The freeze board that was located in the gable here has been removed. And then when you're going on to this addition, this side of the house, again, lap siding here for the second story of the garage. And then also present in this graphic as well. One thing to note, and this is kind of why I went out and took some of my photos, on this Liberty Street side, it does still have the note to tuck point, the existing rubble stone foundation. Again, when I went out and looked at it, there is no rubble stone foundation on that side of the house that's present at all. When taking a look at the front entry and windowsill details, these have been unchanged since last month's review. Looking at the railing and some of the panel trim detail for the east side addition up on the screen, that's still the same from last month's review. Same with the arbors that are on various locations around the house. For the color scheme, this is one of the sheets that have been updated. The main house is this Soji white. All the trim is this urban bronze. The rear addition will be this fawn brindle color. The asphalt shingles have been updated from a gray tone to a brown tone. Gutters have been updated from a metallic copper to white. And then the main house's metal roof has been updated from black to a burnished slate. Again, all the other fixture details are consistent from what was reviewed last month. The applicant's here to talk about the updates to the project and answer any questions that the commission may have.
You want to start off, or? The changes in the drawings that you see right now are based on comments from last meeting that the commissioners wanted to see the removal of the freeze board and the gables of the main primary front volume of the house, and we think that's probably a good move. On the addition, we did show the siding as the commissioners wanted to see what it looked like with siding, and so that was that iteration. I think our discussions, Kevin is really wanting to stay with the board and batten on the second level, and I do have updated drawings. Andrew, is it okay if I can pass these out? That show the removal of that freeze board. There's actually a comment about adding some trim detail at the top of the corner boards. Those details are added. But this shows the board and batten siding on the addition. Still can go there versus all horizontal siding on the carriage house addition. And to your point, Andrew, yes, I'm still showing on the drawings. I have not been down to see the house. Those are the first photographs I've seen of the Liberty Street elevation with the foundation at the block wall goes all the way out to that corner. So there is no rubble sandstone on that. What is it? The west facade. Liberty Street facade.
So the foundation on the west side of the house will be the rubble or will it be the concrete block? Or do you know how far it goes back? to the
Well, right
south?
there, you can see it stops, about 3 feet on the West Columbus, it turns the West Columbus side. There was some sort of repair that was done. So, the question is do we try to repair that corner in sandstone just to the corner and then part that whole west elevation? Which is probably the best direction to go to make that whole front on West Columbus the rubble stone, and then everything on West Liberty will just be parched.
We're working with the limited material because we are going to do our best to remove one of the foundation walls where we have to do foundation work on the east side in order to complete that corner, and then also the retaining wall in the front yard too. So we're going to try our best to use what's on site there for that front elevation.
You mean for the west?
For the West Columbus
Well,
elevation.
That's the stone we're going to use to finish to get to the corner,
Mm-hmm.
the existing foundation wall. And so we're hoping to use the majority of that, the remaining stone down there for if we have extra, which I think we will, on the retaining wall side, on that front
Okay.
elevation as well.
So that whole West Columbus elevation will have that rubble sandstone.
Right, but the Liberty Street side will just be parched.
Will just be parched.
Well, I will say this too, that Mike Gust came over with me, so we've spent, a handful of hours just really trying to dig into the history of how it was built. And a cool note on this Liberty Street side. Andrew, if you go to that one, yeah, this photo doesn't show it too well. If you're able to potentially zoom in under the right side, yep, you can kind of see underneath the second window in from the left on the first floor, and what we're keeping. There's a basement window there, and then about one concrete block to the right, you can see that stone foundation starts again.
Right here.
Yep, just to the right of the right edge of that circle you're drawing, yeah, right there. And so from there to the rear of the home is that same stone, and so the best we can tell, well, one, this home was not constructed like this originally. That it was for somewhere in the late 1830s, was a one-story with a smokehouse on the back, which is where you see that stone foundation. And you can tell basically from, Mike was showing me the notch marks in the framing and how basically the framing in this 16 by 20 section of the front of the home, which is essentially the front room without the staircase. And that's framed one way. And that same framing you only see again over top of that stone foundation in the back corner. So for about 10 to 15 years, it was just that layout, and then they did a huge addition on it.
Yeah, infill between the two, the smokehouse and the original house, and then added the stair.
Yeah, essentially built over top of it. So, I think that it would be a nice touch to keep the stone where what we're calling the smokehouse would have been, underneath those two windows. So that elevation would have some stone. The remainder of it would be parched and painted.
So you're saying the smokehouse was on the Liberty Street side?
Yes, sir. Yep, right around that's exactly where it would have been.
Okay. So you said you're planning on keeping the foundation, the stone foundation. Is that what's under there now?
Yes, on the back, it's mostly stone foundation. On that Liberty Street elevation, there's about 3 rows of CMU that whoever did that patch, when they did it, they used the cinder block foundation on that side. Yeah, you can see that stone
Yeah,
right there.
there's stone.
So it'll be parged from the northwest corner on the Liberty Street side back to the smokehouse.
Correct. And then tuck pointing the smokehouse stone in the same manner that we'd be, treating the front elevation.
Have you decided, I'm just looking for a window note.
Yes.
No, it's on the first elevation, and so it is a Anderson 400 series simulated divided light with spacer bars.
So the 400 does
windows
come
are-
in
the
with
win-
a
windows-
spacer bar.
The windows will be white and the spacer bars will be white.
Yep.
You said 400, not this 200?
Correct.
This corner?
Yeah. So the new set of drawings has it shown correctly in the upper.
The ones that you
corner.
passed out?
Yes.
Yeah, the ones I just passed out. Andrew, did I give you a copy of that?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah, you're looking at.
I'm manipulating the monitor here, so that's what I'm focusing on.
Not a problem.
But
So
yeah,
you
the
want-
200 series windows don't do the spacer bars in the way that we were looking for. And so the 400
So
series.
you have seen the spec sheet on the 400?
No, that's just what he passed out this evening.
And that's on the front, or the front, the first sheet.
On the top left corner, the first sheet, yeah, that's where the note is.
Oh, I got you.
With the-
In the sense of windows are white, the spacer bar will be white, is that
Yep.
correct?
You could pick from white or black, was really the two options that the rep presented to us.
And I'm just kind of jumping around on these elevations. And on the site plan, you call out the pavers. Well, you don't really specify, you just call out pavers. Do you know what that's going to be yet?
No,
I mean, it'll be the same paver on the patio and the driveway, correct?
correct.
I mean, I think that's one thing we'll want to see. Just a cut sheet or a sample or something like that, color.
I do anticipate coming back to clarify the.
But that'll probably be one of the last things you do.
Yep. We'll see where I'm at after the stonework.
Any more information on the variance? Or if that garage or carriage house is even going to be built?
Yeah, we don't have information on that yet. Working on it.
On the carriage house addition, I know the plans that were submitted to Andrew show that as being lap siding, but then the new elevation is,
It's not really new, it's the same elevation that we've
Right.
been using. The elevation that we showed was basically a response to the commissioner's comments to show you what it would look like with that lap siding.
do you guys have any comments on the lap siding that we had in our packet? This is on the carriage house edition versus the board and batten.
And looking at these side by side, I somewhat have a preference for the board and batten. just to give it a breakup of the whole, because if you put siding down that whole side, it's all you're seeing is down, you don't have any other detail other than board and batten back there over top of the garage to differentiate it as maybe a later construction.
I think one of the comments last week, or last month, was the board and batten would be on the top and the bottom versus just on the top. How do you guys feel about that? Or do you like it how it's presented in the new drawings we just received? I mean, I think my initial thought was having it the same siding, top and bottom, but
Right.
you guys need to, I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Just so everyone knows, I have to abstain from this.
Oh,
so-
okay.
Right, well, there's not much visible in the front, and then on the south side, most of it's gonna be blocked by the neighbor's garage.
Right.
So you're really not gonna see much of the lap siding on the carriage house.
I guess it's just coming down to our personal preference rather than the design element of, you know.
Yeah, I think we prefer to do it as shown in the physical drawings that you have.
Of course, depending on what planning and zoning says, that's all going to have to come back anyway,
Sure,
if they go the other way.
sure, yes.
I mean, I prefer the board and batten on top as well. It's- I like seeing that back wall broken up a little bit, just more interesting.
Yeah, I do think it'll be a fun change of pace, especially with how massive that Liberty Street elevation already seems right now. I mean, it's already a really long elevation, so. And I think, you know, it would look really good either way. I think sticking with that original vision would make sense to us.
So it's my understanding you guys are saying you like the way that it's presented, that with the plan that was handed to us, or the
Yeah,
elevation
correct, yeah.
that was handed to us.
Right. Mhm.
So what else are we looking to approve on this?
Everything. Nothing has been approved on it, so it's the full scope.
Well, that's right, it was tabled last month.
Yeah, things that have been approved are demolition related and the roof, but the roof request has changed, so it would be everything.
Oh, boy, that case. The standing seam on the original, again, I just wanted to revisit that.
Sure.
And see, because, I mean, it really, when you're coming down Columbus Street, it really is very visible.
Mhm.
And I know it's gonna be black this time, but,
It's
is there
a
anything?
brown, like, the burnished slate is more of a, similar to like an antique bronzy dark
Okay,
color. So it's definitely not black.
okay.
Um,
I don't know why, but.
Yeah, it's a warmer grayish brown, very interesting
Okay.
color.
I must have misread that
Yeah, it does show up on the paper a certain way, but that burnished slate color is more of a brown
then.
color.
Yeah, okay, I thought I read it that way, but thanks for the correction.
No, absolutely.
But the reason for not putting the standing seam on that side
Mhm.
is,
It's just this.
for some reason, I was thinking that the reason being was cost prohibitive, but.
Yeah. Definitely.
Definitely.
Definitely cost prohibitive. So we're looking to add that detail in. And the other thing too is the original, I don't even know if it was the original, when that addition and second story was built, you can still see the cedar shake underneath.
Uh-oh.
Now that we have it opened up. And so, you know, that is what's under that tin roof
You can see it
right
when
now.
the chimney was removed.
Yep, yep, and right underneath the tin, roof right now, from the inside, you can see all that cedar shake still there.
Okay.
And so, just a way to weave all that history together and do it in a way where we can tastefully add it to different elevations. We added it on the front of that second story porch. And then we have some metal on the returns. We have it on the, above that side entry.
On the Liberty Street side.
Yep, so from every location, you're gonna see some standing seam. But yes, it's definitely, there's a huge cost aspect to it, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I agree with what Carol said. I mean, it's pretty prominent, walking east on
Yeah.
that standing seam roof.
It's just I had traveled up north just recently and all these little farmhouses and the proliferation of standing seam on all these roofs. And it could be substantially different.
Yeah.
It probably is, but I was just struck by the availability of the material versus, I don't know, the cost and the aesthetic. I just wondered if it had been possibly reconsidered.
Yeah, we had not reconsidered adding standing seam to the entirety of the roof. I think that from our standpoint, we feel we've added a lot of extra detail to each side. Whereas, obviously they can be beautiful to do a big sea of standing seam, I agree with you. We also have a lot of different, as we're gonna tie into that hipped roof, the elevations are kind of all over the place. And so what's right now a really simple sightline with the additional square footage on the rear, it gets a little different. So I'm not saying the standing seam would look bad at all. I just think that,
You don't think a break at the new addition would look good if you left the standing seam on the original
Well,
part?
part of the problem is the way that the new addition ties into the existing. You'd end up
That's an
having to do,
issue.
you'd have to do standing seam across the entire
Oh,
roof
then.
of it, the entire thing, because the roof's plain out. So it's just, and I don't think we want to do that, I don't think you want to have the whole thing standing seam.
I mean, you're talking about on the east elevation.
Yeah,
So this right here would be standing seam.
yes.
Right.
yeah, right now.
Oh, those segments, yeah, of course, yeah.
So right now, we're just proposing the West Columbus
Yeah.
volume to have the standing seam. And that's we're adding the detailed shutters and all that sort of thing to that front piece. And so, that front presentation. And again, Liberty, yes, it is a street, but it also reads more like an alley just because of all the garages that come off of it. So to have it, the materials, kind of step down from a perception standpoint is kind of appropriate along that street also.
And one of the, I think, specific conversations maybe we had as a group last month was the desire to separate that front house, that front volume from the rest of the home. And so I think that it serves a lot of purposes that would make it advantageous for us, and I think aligns with that idea of adding the shutter details and all the things to the front elevation of the front volume of the home. And kind of telling that story as the house goes on.
But I wouldn't, just coming in that direction down Columbus, it's pretty prominent, even if people.
No, it's very
consider
prominent.
that, yeah.
Do you-
And it is because of the gap of that.
And I guess that's the question is, I feel like on that side specifically, we've added such intense detail to that elevation as you're driving that way, that right now, there's really not much to look at other than, oh, that's a cool roof,
And it is.
So I think that attention's gonna be spread through the
Well, I mean, I
different
think
sidelines.
the west side is a prominent elevation. And I mean, I disagree with you that it's more, looks like an alley versus a residential street, because there are, you've got the log cabin on the other side of the street down at the corner. So I think it's I mean, a lot of streets in the old town, garages are all over the place, but it's just part of the character of the village. So, not that I'm taking offense to what you said, but I just think it's a street versus, it doesn't look like an alley.
Well, do you disagree though with the concept of stepping down the materials as you go
Right.
further back in a home?
But I do think the color and the texture of asphalt shingles has to be a blend versus just one color, because I think that will make it look,
Well, again, that's why, you know, the Landmark Pro Weathered Wood, you know, it has, you know, it's a dimensional shingle, so it will read like a shape, which is what, you know, was originally on the house, you know, so there's, you know, kind of, it carries that story.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so, and it creates, you know, it'll create a different texture on that roof. And, you know, it's, honestly, I don't consider it a lesser material, it's just, you know, it's a different
It may
material.
be just as stunning, you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you definitely can see it, and it,
Yeah, you definitely can see it for sure, yeah. And I understand what you guys are saying too. I think the design element of playing these two off of each other is gonna look really nice. Like, I don't think it's gonna necessarily be missed, you know, and it's my opinion.
I think last month we talked about the windowsills, the heads. Will the heads be similar to what you have over on Trine Street? Window heads, you know, with the flashing, the trim up at the top.
Do we have window heads on this plan?
No.
Yeah, I don't believe we have heads similar to that on this plan.
No, they're like this.
I don't know if I took photos of that or not. So is the head going to be similar to what's above the door
No.
for the windows? What is the window? Where is a
It's-
window head
It's a
detail?
flat stock trim, you know,
The LP, yeah.
it's a flat trim, and it'll be flashed over the top, but it'll just be a very subtle flashing, you know, you'll lap it, you know, quarter inch or something
And the reason for that lack of details on that front elevation, those windows go all the way up to
to the freeze.
the freeze board. So there's no room on that front elevation.
So, you know, it's a very simplified detail on those windows.
So we had carried that original, above the transom on the front door, that detail, which will be, that detail's original right here, to the original home? I believe? Or is that added, the
No,
trim?
that's that whole
Okay, so
surround is
yes,
added.
that head to the front door. Yes, so that detail we will be adding.
Can you zoom in on that, what you have there, Andrea?
Yeah, that will be the same
You know, right now,
finish.
that's just a, you know, standard brick mold that's about, you know, inch.
And all that's going to be kept?
Yeah,
No,
That is going to change.
we're keeping that front.
well, the front door, it's
Yeah.
the trim around the door will be changed, but the
Right.
door and the windows and the transom, that'll all stay.
Yeah.
So this is being added,
Yeah, that will be the same material as Trine Street is.
this down is existing.
Okay. And the soffits, we talked about that last month.
Yep.
That's going to be the, we had a detail. What was that brand name you guys were?
Core event.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the,
It's a 2-inch with a 3/4 inch, or, I mean, a 3/8 plywood, flat soffit. I mean, the soffits up there now are aluminum vented. I don't know if you guys pulled those down.
yeah, there's not much left underneath them.
how about the basement windows on the Liberty Street side? Are those going to be, of course, there's none on the east side. I mean, those will just be glass
Yeah.
versus,
They're, you know, your standard
okay.
metal
Okay.
and glass window right now.
I mean, as long as it's not like glass block or anything like that.
Not blocked.
Just, okay.
Yeah.
rush anybody. Do you have any, like, further comments on choices or
I know.
details?
So what are we approving then, just?
So I would clarify with the applicant, details from either are we approving what's on the screen versus what they handed you this evening.
Okay,
I would make sure you clearly identify what all those differences are. But this is for the whole project. It sounds like the only thing that has not been submitted are paver details, correct?
Correct.
And the only change that was identified was the tuck pointing rubble stone foundation on the west elevation. The arrow needs to be pointed basically on the back half of the house, not the front half of the house. Correct?
Yep.
Then we need to show the rubble stone up where the,
Right, yeah, basically, just the arrow's in the wrong spot. The easiest way to describe it.
the kitchen I was referring to.
Yeah.
And then there's, what size is the freeze board underneath the gables, on the gable end?
That's an 8-inch.
Andrew, do we need to have something stating about the windows, the window change?
Yeah, that's why I was telling Carol to make sure you're clear on what you're approving, what was handed out, because that's separate from what is in the online packet for the public. So if there's details in there that are different than what I'm presenting, you wanna call all of those out as conditions of approval if you like what's in the printed version.
but everything that is affected by the easement decision still is,
Yeah, I would say that at this point in time, you guys can give approval for the project with the building addition pending
pending.
the variance approval.
Okay.
And if the variance does get approved, then a resubmittal would have to come back
Okay.
to the commission.
So it's just the addition of the pending. Okay.
Yeah, because they won't be able to get started submitting building permits for anything
Exactly.
that show that addition on it until that variance gets processed, so. This at least lets them get started on everything else on the original structure.
I just want to make a clarification on what I said. When I mentioned the freeze board, I meant on the gable end, not underneath the soffits. Well, that's a soffit too. It looks like maybe a 4-inch. And I'm-
Yeah, oh, you're talking about the barge board? Yes, that's a 4-inch board.
I learn new words every Landmarks meeting. 11
Same
years,
thing,
I
yeah.
learn new words all the time, like orangery and barge board.
Well, I'll move to accept the additions or the changes that were made in the submitted drawings with the pending,
And then could you please call those out?
oh, sorry.
All the changes, just, again, I want it to be full transparent. What is not being recorded right now for the public to see, they can't see what's in front of you, so.
I got you. Maybe I should defer to somebody else.
Well, can I say what the changes are?
Yeah,
I think that'd be
please.
helpful if you want to give.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Someone here,
if we look at the first page of the
Yeah.
elevations, in the upper left-hand corner of the West Columbus Street elevation, the new and replacement windows are called out as Anderson 400 series with simulated divided lights. The color will be white and the spacer bars will be white. On the same sheet, the garden elevation, the second floor of the carriage house addition has board and batten siding. On the next page, on the south elevation of the carriage house addition, the second floor has board and batten siding. And then on the Liberty Street elevation, the carriage house second floor has board and batten siding. And the foundation is shown with the tuck pointing the existing stone on the northwest corner, but there is no stone there, so that area will be parged. Whereas the southwest corner of the original structure does have sandstone foundations, and that area will be tuck pointed.
With the existing stone.
Yes. So that is the differences between the two.
Okay. And I'm sorry, and then also, you said apply to the south end, board and bat, in addition to the back end?
Yes. Second floor.
Second floor.
Andrew, if I can just add one question, because I know this stuff happens on blueprints. On that first page elevation behind the orangery, I'm not saying that right, but is that first floor supposed to be lap siding there? It appears to still be board and batten, even though the whole first floor you're proposing to be lap siding.
No, the first floor of the carriage house addition, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No, that's all lap siding.
Okay. I'm just saying on that Columbus Street side, it doesn't show the siding here where that little bump out ends. I'm just not sure if they just missed that on the plan.
If you look at it, I think it's because the line type's ghosted. And because it's ghosted, you don't have all the
detail.
all the lines in the back.
Okay.
Do we need any more details on the arbor? The cedar wood arbor there on the east side? Well, on the north side and east side.
Northeast and west.
Is that going to remain cedar? Or is it going to be white?
It's all painted out white.
Okay. And we're still going to get...
It's smooth all sides cedar, painted white.
And we're still going to get the rubble sandstone foundation on the east side. Has that been
The wall.
exposed? The foundation wall?
Is it?
Hold, please.
I don't know if that's got one of the pictures you took, Andrew.
Nope.
Again, I mean, we would say that wherever there is stone,
It's parged over. Yeah, it's all parged over.
Or will you treat it just like you do the northwest corner? If it's block but parged, it would just stay block. But if it's sandstone, then it'll remain sandstone.
right, correct.
And then there'll be sandstone underneath the smokehouse. I think we already talked about that.
Any other conditions of approval? I have 3 written down. Anderson 400 series windows, simulated divided light with white spacers. The second floor of the carriage house addition will be board and batten siding. And tuck point existing stone foundation wherever it's currently present on the house. That's a way to simplify just any discrepancies.
Was there a change on the shingle too from the last time?
Just the
That
color.
is in this packet this
Yeah.
evening.
I think
Shingles
that's-
and metal color.
Okay.
And then you'll come back with the paver detail, color, sample, whatever, okay.
If there's no other comments or conditions, can someone please read what I just said without it coming from my mouth as the motion. I cannot make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the handout that was given to us. The first condition is the new Anderson 400 series simulated divided light with a white spacer. The LP board and batten on the second story of the carriage house on all the elevations. There'll be a sandstone foundation underneath the old smokehouse, which is on the Liberty Street side on the, that'll be the southwest corner or side. No, and the patio pavers will be presented at a later date with color and color size. And we'll get a sample of that.
Can I get someone to second that?
Sure, I wasn't sure if you.
I was waiting to see
Yeah.
if there was anything else.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll second.
Roll call. Carol DeGrasso,
Yes.
David Craycraft.
yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
And I abstain.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Apologies for everybody that's still sitting here. The next application on tonight's agenda, CA 26032. This is for 44 Clinton Street. The request this evening is to modify the rear screen and porch to make it a four-season room by installing new windows and doors. The subject property was constructed in 2023 off Clinton Street. The photo here, just when it was finished, recently after it was finished for the commission. To the rear of the house on all three of these new homes, or three of the four new homes that were built in this area, they all had screen and porches. The applicant is requesting approval to replace the door and the windows on the screen and porch with double hung windows that match the rest of the house. Here's a kind of better photo to show you all six of these windows, the little transom window in the door, some existing windows in the rear of the home that the applicant has provided specs for to note they will match what's on the rest of the house.
So there are no windows presently, those are all screened?
It's all screens. The door looks pretty close.
Yeah.
This is, either this door has like a glass insert that can turn into a
That's what I
screen.
thought I saw.
But this looks to be a little more substantial quality to be an actually insulated door. The style's very similar.
Mhm.
So the door is going to be changed out.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the door
Okay.
detail, transom, and then the windows.
Andrew is the applicant here.
I don't see them here this evening. But I can try to answer any questions you had. I talked to them just
So
last
do
week.
the windows, is that simulated divided light?
The windows that are on the house now are simulated.
Okay,
divided
so they're
light.
matching what's on the house.
Yeah, this window here just has a full screen on it. So the screen goes across both grids. And I believe this window spec is the exact window that they have in the rest of the house, so it'll
Okay.
match.
So they're just taking the screens off and putting windows in
Correct,
and a new door.
correct.
You guys have any, wait, I shouldn't peek your,
Yeah, I can talk here on this one. I do see the simulated divided light there. Sometimes I don't talk about the spacer bar. I just don't see it, but imagine if they match the house, it should be fine.
I mean, there's nothing that changes, because it's now an enclosed room as opposed to a kind of an exposed indoor-outdoor space, nothing prohibiting.
Yeah, it's not going to be conditioned space, but it's
Yeah.
just going to have glass
Yeah.
in there.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, we approve CA 26032 as presented.
Second.
Roll call, Roger White, yes. Pete Lynch,
Yes?
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Carol DeGrasso,
Yes,
David Craig.
Yes.
Next on the agenda is CA 26033. The address is 113 Washington Street. The applicant is requesting approval to replace the front porch decking with new 6-inch deck boards. Up on the screen, photograph of the subject property. This house was constructed around 1890. As I was talking to the applicant prior to the meeting starting, their family's the second owner, maybe even the first if it was a relative that had it with a different last name, that's owned this house basically its whole life. Not too many of those left in town, so it's pretty cool. The applicant is requesting approval to take the front porch up on the screen, replace the existing 3-inch tongue and groove decking with new 6-inch deck boards. With the new deck boards, looking to change the orientation of the decking as well. So I did take some photos, so bear with me here. This is the left side of the front porch. Kind of looking at the central area of the front porch here. The steps leading up are 6-inch deck boards. That leads is a 3-inch tongue and groove, just for frame of reference. And then looking at the right side of the porch as well. When looking at what the applicant is proposing, they would like to have this pattern put in with the new decking. Leading up to the front door, the decking would face the door, and then from the sides, the decking would face inward towards the porch. Sam's here to answer any questions you have.
Hi, Sam. Will you need to modify the framing to change that pattern, likely?
All I need to do right there in the center is put some blocking in.
Okay.
I know the guidelines recommend the 3-inch tongue and groove for repairing what you can if it's possible. Is there a reason to change it to the decking cost?
And I've already got about 80% of the decking bought.
Oh, is that right?
What kind of decking is it?
It's treated tongue and groove 5/4 6.
It is tongue and groove,
No. It's just regular decking.
regular deck boards? Yeah, I can't think of a time we've approved deck boards on the front facade of a house, especially in a 6-inch. I know this looks like the stairs. Can you go back to that last one? Looks like that's been added at some point, but
Yeah, they gotta be replaced too.
is it just those 2 steps?
There's
That are
Three
wood?
steps going up.
Okay,
They're all
wood.
Brick and wood. Looks like brick.
You mean you can't recall approving a 6-inch wide?
Any, just decking,
Oh.
treated decking material on a front, historic front porch. It's not a historic material. Typically, those are kept to the backyard. I think we've had several of these come through asking for the same thing.
It's structurally, it feels sound. Is there any
It gets spongy.
spongy?
Yeah. And then on this end, a lot of them are peeled up,
Oh.
lifted up, cracked. Just, you can't go in and sand it and repaint it.
Yeah.
Needs to be replaced.
And would extend out to cover that lattice there? Looks like that piece is just missing.
Pardon me?
Will your decking extend out, looking
Yes.
at the picture here, to cover that where the lattice is?
You're not planning on making any changes in the lattice or the, underneath the porch?
No. I replaced it probably 30, 40 years ago.
Did you replace the porch a long time ago, 30, 40 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, put a block foundation under and treated lumber on top for framing.
I tend to agree with Pete on the use of decking on the historic home in lieu of the tongue and groove. I think that the decking would not be appropriate for that area.
I'll agree with that.
Do you plan to paint it ultimately, even though you'd like to use? Have you looked into pressure treated tongue and groove that's in a 3.5?
That's what that is, and it didn't last there as long as the original porch.
Huh.
Typically, when we put it down, we like to use Douglas fir and prime it all the way around before it goes down. It makes a huge difference. It'll last 3 times.
That's what I was
as long.
gonna do this time. I didn't with that one.
I think there's some options out there other than 6-inch treated decking. Is it something you would prefer to look into those options and have us?
I have, it's about 4 times more than.
I realize it's probably a little more expensive, but it's just not a historic material that we approve for the front facade.
Is there, on the steps that you have there, is there, what's the structure below the steps?
Concrete.
So the boards are applied right on, directly onto concrete?
Yeah.
Are they glued?
Huh?
Are they glued to it?
No, I put them in, I laid the brick over top of them, but it's, the edges are rotted out, some of it's screw the past on.
Okay. Oh, the brick is laid over top of the decking?
Pardon?
The brick is laid over top of the boards here?
On the edges, yes.
Okay.
Seems like a good idea.
So it sounds like you're gonna have to take the brick wall,
Pardon?
the brick wall will have to partially come down for
No.
you to get,
I'll just cut it
oh,
out.
good.
And
Okay.
that's tacked on. I mean, it got decking there.
Right.
I don't think it would be, look any different upon the porch than it does there.
It does let a lot more water and moisture down under your porch, not having the tongue and groove. I do know that. I think I have to still hold to my recommendation. I think that really needs to be a tongue and groove material.
I mean, that's what we've usually, but that's what we've always
That's the, yeah,
recommended or approved.
correct.
Yeah, and that's what's included in the guidelines is that tongue and groove be used or retain the original.
Based on the discussion, I would recommend voting on what was presented, just discussion on both sides.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, we approve CA 26033 as presented.
I will second.
Roll call. Pete Lynch,
No?
Carol DeGrasso,
No.
David Craycraft,
No,
Whit Wardell.
no.
Roger White, no.
With that said, if you would like to get it replaced and you're able to send in an application for 3.5-inch tongue and groove boards, I don't think we'd have any problem with that.
It would be like for like, so you wouldn't have to apply for anything.
That would be-
Put an application in again.
If it's like for like, you wouldn't have to apply for anything. Yeah.
I used to sit on this board.
Yeah, if you just replace it just how it is, even with the 6-inch boards out front, 3.5 on the deck, then you don't have to come back.
Would he have to come to you just,
Yeah, I mean, I can touch base with Sam
Okay,
if he has
okay.
any questions. He was really knowledgeable about the process. He said he sat on the Landmarks Commission for a number of years in the 90s. When you were on Landmarks, the 90s?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, I thought that's what we talked about.
okay,
Well, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next on the agenda, CA 26034, address is 4 South High Street. The applicant is requesting approval to install a grease bin screen on the rear of the property. The grease bin screen is located just adjacent to the kitchen door on the rear of the building. The applicant has proposed this 3-sided screening system. The panels, and there's 3 of them, will be 4 feet tall. The panels will be supported with 4x4s with metal boots that will be attached to the blacktop or asphalt. This front section here is shown as 2 4-foot pieces that will be 2 4-foot gates that will be able to be swung open for maintenance of the grease enclosure. The applicant has noted that the wood will be painted in the spring and will also include painting all the trim in this area to be the same color, including this upper HVAC yard. Photographs of the kind of inspiration for the design are shown. And I apologize, I did not include the rendering just because I thought I was going to add way too many questions to my presentation, but
Sure.
you guys have any questions on that?
One thing I want to note really quick, Andrew, that picture you see up there, so imagine you're looking at it and stuff. The piece on the right side is not going to go 4 feet, it's going to go all the way up to the gutter. The reason for that is to the right of it, yeah, from this angle, Mr. Canton's done a great job on the left side with the redo of that brick, looks really nice. You got Winchester Farm on the right side, they have that new walk-up window for Sprig and Bree, their cafe. And so we'll put the enclosure around the grease bin, but the end needs to be open for their usage of that bin. And so we were putting that on the right side of the door, that second panel that goes up to the gutter, there's visual protection from Sprig and Bree, they won't see it.
That was one of the reasons why I didn't put the rendering in.
You're good.
Because it didn't say that on here, so.
I know.
Just for frame of reference, the right-hand side max height would be 8 feet.
It's like,
I don't know, you look.
it's like this, it's like probably right at
something.
7 foot, 7'2".
I was gonna say
going
that
up.
door is probably 7,
Yeah.
6,
Yeah,
8.
so it's gonna butt up to the gutter, and then the color of everything ultimately the same as the door and the gutter that exists currently. So we keep that same color.
And it's just gonna be on that side,
The,
or both sides?
well, you're gonna frame in the grease bin at 4
Right,
feet tall,
right.
and then they'll have the, I'll just call it a privacy
Right,
piece on the
Okay.
right side of the door.
okay.
Yes, sir. Just clean it all up. Everything's back there has changed in such a good way.
Yeah.
We just want to clean it up.
Does the siding get repainted as well?
Siding's gonna be thoroughly cleaned.
Okay.
Yeah, because she gets all that grease on there and she cleans about once a quarter. I think I need to increase the pace of that a little bit.
I mean, is that gonna clean off?
It does, because the bin used to be on the right side, but when Sprig and Bree opened up, they moved it to the left side and they cleaned up the right side and it all came out.
Sean, is there, and I'm just riffing here, so bear with me. Seeing the splatter on the building?
Yes, sir.
Is there a way to rotate that enclosure 90 degrees? That way the screen gets deeper away from the building, but then you don't have like the splatter on the building, because this door will be facing this way?
So it's gonna be open on the side coming in from the door, so they can just open their bin and pour it in. The gates that'll run that whole facing, that like you'd be looking at that right now, is because about once or twice a year, EC Babbert that does the clean out of it, they clean it every month with a hose. Once or twice a year, they come in and they remove it and put in a new one because they do thorough cleaning, so that gate needs to open so they can actually remove that unit.
Is this where they attach to remove the unit?
Say that one more time?
I'm just trying to, I guess my question is, does the unit get pulled out towards the parking lot in the direction it's facing?
Twice a year when they
That's
do.
why you can't turn it?
That's why the gates are there.
Correct, and it's just twice a year.
Not the gate, I guess the orientation of the enclosure. Like if you
Yes.
rotated the enclosure, they wouldn't be able to physically
Right.
pull it out. 'Cause
Correct.
That's my question.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. Sorry, I didn't understand you right.
No, it's okay. I just, once you mentioned the grease splatter, I guess to help avoid it,
Yeah,
if you move that further away from the building, then the splatter may
Yeah.
go away.
and one thing I'll say too, is you look at that picture on the left side, you'll see the gutter drain going down. The enclosure is gonna be just to the right of that, so the bin will be moved a little bit closer to the door, enclosure will be to the right of that drop down, that downspout.
Okay.
Where's the cigarette dispenser go? They're not gonna be able to. get to
Trash.
it. It's gonna go in the trash.
She said if I could put it in the enclosure, can I keep it? And I said, I don't see how you can, let's get rid of
I
it.
don't know, this one, this is what they.
We just wanna clean it up, it's been totally changed back there in a good way, we wanna keep pace.
Did you see this, Dave?
That's
Isn't
what
that
I
the
didn't
same
put
one?
in the packet, because I was
Oh,
confused
there
on
it
the
is,
height
I'm
on the
sorry.
right.
That's an
I thought
AI
it was-
rendering.
Somebody said.
I didn't want that to
You
bite you in the
didn't
butt.
see it, okay.
Where you're like, I didn't want it to be
Thank you.
that tall, so.
That's all right.
That's an AI rendering.
Yeah.
The actual unit wouldn't have the caps on there that AI put on, and that right side thing would go
Oh,
up
I
all
like
the way.
caps.
That's gonna look nice. Well, better than it does now.
Yeah,
We wanna clean it up.
So it's
We
gonna
wanna-
look more like this picture Andrew has up.
okay.
I think it's gonna look great. Any further questions?
Nope.
I would like to make a motion to approve application CA-26-034 as presented.
Second?
Roll call, Pete Lynch,
Yes.
Carol DeGrasso,
Yes.
Roger White, yes. David Craycraft.
Yes.
Whit Ward, yes.
Thank you for that. It's
Thank
gonna
you,
look
guys.
great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Next application, CA 26035, address is 16 North High Street. The request this evening is to approve 3 new windows that were already installed on the subject property. Quick history, this house, the original house was built in 1830. It's pretty old, one of the older ones in town. The house was originally 1 floor, and then the front porch was added between 1830 and 1934. In 1934, the second floor was added to the house. The applicant is requesting approval this evening for 3 new windows that were installed in the building. The windows were installed as a condition of the sale for the purchase of the property. So in talking with the applicant, there wasn't a whole lot of information on kind of what the existing windows were, just knowing kind of what the new windows put in are from the work order, and then some photographs that were provided for other windows around the building. So I went through my files here, found a couple side shot elevations just to share. Based off the photos submitted, I believe they're side and rear. None are directly in the front. The applicant did have 2 photos of the damage to the previous windows. It looked like it was mainly the glass was cracked on these 2 photos. The first photo, corner to corner of that window here, I tried to reorient the photo to make it as straight up and down as possible. And then this photo looks like the glass is cracked in a semicircle on the lower pane here. The work order the applicant provided for the windows that were done is up on the screen. It does note that it is a, what I believe is saying it's a wood window that's simulated divided light double pane. When talking with the applicant, it looks like What was there previously was a simulated divided light, potentially, that was single pane. May have been true divided light, but this is why you're the experts. I just saw this photo here that it was cracked across all three panes. It just seemed a little abnormal, but that's the best information I can try to give the applicant for tonight's meeting to help explain what the request is. Questions for me, feel free to ask applicants here to talk about the project, but again, the windows were kind of replaced as a condition of the sale, so
So you're the owner? Okay.
So, as far as you know, the windows that were replaced back in 2003, 2004 are the same, or?
I have no knowledge of when these existing windows were replaced. They do look like they could easily be 20 years old when you go look at it, but
Would
it
these be-
does look like the previous owner did try to make it match. And I provided a photo of two that are, one was replaced, and one was
sorry.
existing, so you could just kind of for reference. So that's what it looks like from the street view. All of them are side or rear windows. They're not on the, like, sidewalk front. Although the one that says replaced, that does face the road, but it's set back probably 2 rooms deep off the road.
I think the replaced windows look as old as the regular windows.
If it helps the commission, this is my old house, and Jennifer put Pella windows in that I'm pretty sure are almost identical to these. I think by the owner, meaning Bob Wood, yeah, I think Mr. Wood probably matched those up pretty well.
Okay.
They look almost identical to what was in there.
So there's not an option of just replacing the glass?
No, and I think it's because that what was simulated divided light, that's why it broke all the way through. So to get a sash that's from something 20 years old, they've changed models slightly,
Okay.
so nothing would, you'd have to get a custom sash. It's probably easier just to replace the window. But they are wood and they are simulated divided light. They're wood inside and out, not clad,
So it's kind of like for like then?
as far as I can see.
yeah, I wasn't super clear on what was in there, and since the applicant didn't know, the best course of action was just to take it in front of the Landmarks Commission. So I appreciate your insight, Pete.
Yeah, no problem.
Have any further questions?
No.
I'd like to make a motion to approve application CA-26-035 as presented.
Second?
Roll call. Pete Lang,
Yes.
David Craigcraft.
Yes.
Carol DeGrasso.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
Enjoy it, it's a great little house.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're using it as an office, so.
It has a fantastic floor underneath that floating floor if you're not aware.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we refinished all the original fir floors in there.
Going down to the basement and looking at it, looked like it's really solid, so.
Yeah. They're beautiful underneath. As soon as Bob bought it, he covered them all up to protect it. So if you're gonna stay and you wanna see them, it's real pretty underneath there.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, okay.
The last application, CA 26036, again, 16 North High, the applicant is requesting approval for a new sign on the front porch. Again, photo here from last year showing the front porch. Again, just another example, this is where the prior tenant had the sign on the wall just to the left of the main door. The applicant is requesting approval to have a new hanging sign on the front porch. A bracket proposals on the right-hand side. I didn't see any details in the application, exactly where, how high, et cetera, it was going to be mounted, but I figured that could be discussed this evening with Landmarks Commission.
And what's the material of the sign?
I think it's gonna be, I mean, I'm actually open to doing whatever, but it's gonna be metal, so I assume probably double-sided, maybe like aluminum or something, I'm gonna guess is what they usually use.
The bracket that you've shown in your application says it accommodates signs with a sign width of up to 21 inches wide. The sign you presented to us says the width is 24 inches wide.
It does say that, doesn't it? I guess I could either reduce the size of the sign or find a like bracket. I did not spend a lot of time looking for a bracket. I just did a Google search on something that appeared that it would meet your code. So I can get a similar bracket that's bigger or potentially reduce the size of the sign either way. I'm not stuck on that bracket. I just kind of looked at the neighbors and they had just black metal brackets.
I mean, it honestly looks almost like a plant hanger from some of the ornamental
Well, it says,
add to it, but, no, it says sign, I know, but it has the appearance of kind of,
it says bracket physical size 23 7/8.
yeah.
Andrew, do we have where the sign is going to be on the structure?
No, that was something, since it was left out from the application, I thought the commission would discuss this evening.
My
I
thought
know
process.
before, when Dagger was there, we had situations with the sign, where to present a sign, where to put a sign, because of the sidewalk there. And I just was wondering where the sign's going to be, whether it's going to be projecting from the front or to the side, how it's going to be there.
I'm pretty sure there's less than 24 inches from the post to the sidewalk, if I remember
It looks
correctly.
pretty narrow.
It's probably close to that, but
Oh, you mean where the
I don't know if
little
this helps
bushes
you
are
at all.
planted?
yeah, I remember the,
Yeah, that doesn't look to be,
it's pretty close, but I would say you'd be right out to the edge of the sidewalk. Of course, if you were gonna use that bracket and you made the sign a little bit smaller, then you might make it.
Yeah, I don't have a firm plan on it. My initial thought is use the center pillar, put it up as high as you guys require it to be for sidewalk clearance, and then, I don't know what the code says for height up over the sidewalk, but being that it's like a shield shape, it's gonna probably mostly hang over the landscaping, I would imagine.
so it'd be, which post do you think it would be on?
I think they already have flag posts on the two ends, so it's probably in the middle.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure how that would look in the center. My opinion, it would need to go off to one side. Are you opposed to bringing the sign in a little bit to fit that bracket, or you want to try to find a different bracket?
Like I said, I'm not stuck on the bracket. I don't know, shrinking it from street visibility, if we're trying to have an applicant stop by or whatever to fill out paperwork, which is mainly what they're gonna be doing in there. You know, reducing the size of the sign, I don't know what impact that has on the street view of it, but that's really the only thing. We're not kind of like some of the other small town businesses where a sign is gonna attract a customer. People are just looking for our building, you know, because it's a destination location basically to get hired, so.
I
There you
think,
go. That's 24 inches, 3 sheets of paper.
I think if I remember from Dagger's application,
Yeah,
they were wanting to do a blade sign
Yeah.
because they had one on the corner of the
Uh-huh.
building. But it made sense to put it next to the tree, but the tree sticks out a little bit, which is why we went to the wall.
Yeah, I know the left tree is really, really big and low, and I think it's my neighbor's responsibility, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's the other tree, the cedar that's here.
Yeah.
It sticks out past the post, and I
Oh, well, yeah.
think they wanted it to not be hidden by the tree. Are you opposed to just putting it on the wall like where the Dagger sign was? It's pretty visible
I
there.
haven't measured to see, that Dagger sign looks like it's pretty narrow.
I think it was at least 18 inches, 18 or 20, but
Yeah, I haven't measured, I wasn't anticipating putting it on the building, but, so I haven't measured it, but they do have, what is it, the lights in the mailbox and then the historical marker sign all right there, so it would probably have to be pretty narrow.
Prior to Dagger, the tenant before had a sign that was parallel with the road. I can't remember if it hung centered here or just off-center here, but it was a metal sign. It was Erie Insurance.
Yeah, for the
That's
insurance, I
that.
remember that. It was pretty visible there.
And it was a rigid bracket too, so it didn't like swing into the porch. It was like tubular aluminum, but their sign was square, so like it created the frame to it.
And I'm not really opposed to doing it,
Parallel to the street.
yeah, like this Erie Insurance or whatever, just so long as it's visible. I think if you took that and put that back, with the name and stuff like that being kind of small on the sign, they wouldn't be able to see it, but probably the only security company in town, I suppose, but.
So you'd center, what, on the two windows, or center on the post?
If we changed directions and didn't do the double-sided hanging over the sidewalk, then I would probably plan B, hang it where, in the middle of those.
Yeah, right in there.
Where he's,
Pretty sure that's where the insurance sign was.
Mm-hmm.
and then, I don't know what the code allows for size-wise, but, I don't need it to be ginormous, but I just want it to be visible to passing traffic.
I think as long as it's got a little weight to it so it doesn't blow around, being aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would prefer seeing it hang like the insurance sign was.
Yeah.
Between the
Yeah.
two windows? Is that what you're?
I agree.
I think it's just gonna be really pushing it off the post to,
I think it's gonna be obstructed.
yeah, I think so too.
I think you'd see it better like the way Erie Insurance was hung.
There, we're on the wall where Dagger had it. It's probably be more visible out hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the applicant's doing a window graphic on the front screen door as well, so you'd have kind of like, if it was where Dagger is, one literally right next to the other.
Okay, let's see. What do we think? Hang it between the left and center post?
That seems to make
Yeah, I
more
like that.
sense
Yeah.
too.
Then it only has to be one-sided.
Yeah. And as far as that goes, we could probably do away with I can't remember what it's called, the perforated, is that still in there for the door?
They didn't need approval through the board, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, street visibility on double-sided sign, that was the initial plan, and then just one with a door, so. But, yeah, I'm all right with moving the sign out front where you can almost see where the hook is,
I think it is, I think that is one of, there's two, I think there's,
so.
pretty sure that's where it was.
Here,
Mm-hmm.
something like this.
Once
I can
again-
show you a picture of it. I'm sure I have one of what it looked like.
Yeah, that's fine.
Once again, you need it to be heavy, so it,
I'll have to probably just ask him, yeah, I would agree with you, but, is there like a requirement on what type of metal or wood or whatever? I'm not
It just
really-
has to be wood, metal, or wood composite. I would say if you're doing it one-sided, they may be able to make like a rigid arm and not chains, so it like just physically can't swing, and then they
Right.
could make it out of whatever.
No, okay.
Right, like an actual affixed bracket.
Yeah, basically you just get rid of these
or
two
a-
holes,
yeah.
and then you could have like a bracket or, two arms that like connect it to the inside of the porch.
Right.
That way you can't see like where it's mounted to on the inside, and then it drops down and hangs out in that area. I can talk to your sign vendor, whoever that is, and talk to him about it.
Yeah, currently I'm using our guy that does our graphics for our vehicles, and he'll print on aluminum and stuff like that, but if we get into heavy metal, I don't know.
Yeah, I would think aluminum would be fine if you did a fixed arm. Then he would just have to take his aluminum, and I'm assuming he's gonna cut it with a laser.
I have no idea, I assume he does.
Yeah, so basically when he cuts this shield shape, he'll leave a tail on it.
Okay.
And then the tail is what gets mounted on the inside of the porch. That way you don't see the mounting.
Okay.
So it doesn't
From the
hinge at
from the
all.
inside of the beam.
The inside of the beam, yeah, that way you don't see it like the bolt or the screw that's holding it, to the porch.
Okay.
But that way it'll hang down. Think of it like a lollipop, you have like
Yeah.
your stick.
I really don't have a preference on it. I mean, I'll do whatever. That's fine.
I wish Rich was here, he would know exactly what
Yeah, right.
to say.
So it's just gonna be an applique over the aluminum,
What
just a
is-
graphic, like a big sticker? Is that
I
what's-
think that's how he
going on?
does it, basically, yeah, I think it's, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's some sort of printable vinyl.
It'd be the same as like the dentist that took over Waterloo too, if you think about how that was done.
Do we have any further questions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve application CA-26-036 with the following conditions. That we approve the aluminum sign as presented. It will have a fixed bracket which will hang from behind the beam in between the left and center pillars. And there is to be no hanging bracket for a blade sign.
I second.
Roll call, Roger White, yes. Whit Wardell?
Yes.
Pete Lynch?
Yes.
Carol DeGrosso?
Yes.
David Craycraft?
Yes,
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, Nick.
thank you.
Oop, I didn't mean to close out of that. For old new business, just to keep everybody here kind of updated on our zoning code update. We are kind of moving into like final draft modes with code sections. I'm hoping to have that in front of Planning and Zoning Commission here in the next 30 to 60 days for the recommendation to City Council. I did share with Pete Lynch, who sits on the steering committee, a copy of the draft for the code changes that will affect the Landmarks Commission review process. Mainly, to think about it, right now you have the Old Town Guidelines, which are a guide. These will be codified standards, which will be like the new minimum threshold. So if someone doesn't want to meet the minimum, they'd be asking you for a variance. And then if you support that variance, it goes to Planning and Zoning Commission. So an example of that in this new update, everyone's most popular topic on this commission, vinyl siding is prohibited everywhere unless it's maintenance. So if you want to, tear the vinyl off your house and put new vinyl on, that would be a variance. If you want to spot repair vinyl, that would be maintenance. Pete, feel free, you can share that with these guys, or if you want to touch base with them, outside the meetings on kind of what that update looks like. Feel free, it'll be in the public portion that goes to Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council, so you do have a time to, look at it there and give me feedback. We have lots of rounds of drafts, so no offense, I don't want to have a sit down with all 7 of you to go over those items, but if Pete, wants to be the liaison for that, I have no problem having one voice.
Be happy to share that with anybody. It's, overall, I think I only had like 3 small questions, and one of those was for the vinyl. The other one was that they made a note in there for simulated divided line with spacer bars, because that's been something that we've overlooked a couple times. Hopefully that'll keep that from happening ever again.
Yeah, and it'll basically become a threshold where I'll review it, and that's the minimum threshold. If someone doesn't submit to that minimum threshold, I'll have to let them know they have to receive a variance, so it'll be a little more guidance from staff's end. Right now, the Old Town Guidelines don't provide a lot of guidance for me to give you a staff recommendation. This code update, I will be providing staff recommendations for applications. So I'll basically be able to let you know if staff's recommending approval, recommending conditions of approval, or recommending denial. So that way you have some more guidance from me. That way the 7 of you don't have to look at each other nervously when you want to make conditions in someone's application. You don't know how to start it. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. In terms of other old new business, just keep an eye on what's happening around town. Roger's really good at sending me stuff that he sees, and I can get it taken care of, like the windows at this address. There was a Pella sign in the front yard for a weekend I never would have saw, and I was able to reach out to the property owner and say, hey, actually the property owner's real estate agent, and say, hey, changes have to go to the commission. Wasn't really a change, but he didn't know that, so, you know, I wanted to make that a full process. Other than that, I don't really have anything else for discussion.
Anyone else? I would like to make a motion to adjourn. The time is 8:31.
Second.
Roll call, David Craycraft.
Yes.
Pete Lynch,
Yes.
Carol DeGrasso,
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.